All right, hello, welcome. A little bit late. Nobody's here again today. That's fine. This is for me. This is all for me. My name is Frank. This is No More Paper Trading. It's the community. I have no intentions of ever selling anything to anyone in the community. I'm not going to become a financial guru. I want to build a community to learn from others and to teach others. And that's it. Yesterday was a pretty pathetic stream for me. But I am really glad I did not overreact and get rid of all my short positions. I knew there was something there. That is why experience is so important. Just watching the markets move, just looking at reaction to news, the narrative, everything. You get, I don't want to say a gut feeling because gut feelings should not be followed. Gamblers do gut feelings. But you know from watching that something isn't right. And that came to fruition yesterday. A lot sooner than I thought it would. But if anything, that shows you the current problem with the AI bubble. I do think AI will bring us to all-time highs at some point. And that point is not this year. That's for sure. They need to figure out how to monetize it and how to really use it to make actual money. But timing is everything. You can call an AI bubble crash accurately and still lose money. And now my problem is I have to resist selling at a profit early rather than riding it to its conclusion. But I already have goals set in mind, and I plan on letting a third of all positions ride as with a trailing stop. But if I had to predict right now, I would say this is the SPY on daily time frame. So going back to early this month, that article came out where I think it was Goldman Sachs. The big wigs over there at old Goldman Sachs were preparing people for a 10 to 20% drop, return to value. Now, I would assume that would be 20% of the total value, or 20% since the current run, the current jump. I'm leaning more towards this level right here, around 550. That is 20% of the total price of the S&P right now. I will start taking profits early. But if I had to guess at this moment, I would say we fall to 550 before returning. Although maybe more, because the decline in February, which I was extremely relieved to see, it's If you're one of those people that's 24/7 bear, 24/7 bull, maybe trading isn't for you. You need to understand the way markets work, or at least try to understand. I don't think anyone can ever truly understand how markets work. That's why really intelligent people constantly get things wrong with the markets. It's just how it is. But this decline was absolutely needed. It was a little too volatile for my taste, but I do remember at the time the narrative was not extremely bearish. Not near as bearish as it is right now. So there is a possibility we will go more than 20%, but that is my 2/3 profit level. That is where I take all the profits I need to sit back and relax and wait for the market to return. All right, let's take a look at some news articles first, then I'll go over the overnight a little bit. I didn't remark any of my key areas. I'm behind this morning, but that's okay. The economic calendar, let's check that first. Just some Fed speeches today. People will be paying attention to that. At 7:30, there's a Fed speech, and rumors of a cut came up again. Well, the Fed Williams actually said, I'm thinking of a cut. I mean, if that doesn't serve as an example of how corrupt things are, I don't know what would. I read an article yesterday for the first time, and it wasn't one of those shitposting articles. It was a very intelligent article. I think it was on Zero Hedge. I know they're more of a bearish site, but they came right out and said the Fed kind of serves to, at this point, is serving to prop up the AI bubble. And this most recent press release from Fed Williams, that kind of says they're in the pocket of tech in one way or another. I don't know if it's pressure from the White House or I don't know. But somehow they convinced the Fed that they need to bring a rate cut back on the table, as if that's the biggest problem here. Now, it could just be to get into a good position to sell more. That happens oftentimes during a bull and bear market. Some people like to call it a dead cat bounce. The reason behind that is people wanting to get out. Big people. So they push the market up or down, unload their positions, causing even more losses. Also today coming out, Michigan consumer expectations. That will be significant as well. That's always a part of the economy. Maybe not right now, but it would be one more straw on the camel's back, maybe. I don't expect it to be good, but that's at 11. Just be aware. Let's take a look at Yahoo headlines. Okay, this is what they're pushing right now. Wall Street doesn't agree with Main Street about Nvidia. I hate when anytime they talk about Wall Street and Main Street, I guarantee you there's plenty on Wall Street that agree with me. It's just dumb. It's dumb rhetoric. It's like a gatekeeping terminology meant to keep people confused. Reports of the death of the AI trade were greatly exaggerated. NVIDIA and its bullish analysts want you to know. Oh, wow. I mean, why can't they? You know what? It would convince me more that the AI bubble isn't real if they did nothing. The fact that they're coming out, pushing it in your face that no, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. That tells me that there's something more wrong under the surface, and they're trying to hide it. Because all the greatest financial scams in the past were brought to light once things started to go down. It wasn't while they were at the top. Because once things start to unravel, more and more will unravel. I have a really awesome article I want to show. I'm going to quick summarize it. But let's finish this first. Instead of showing AI growth flatlining, Wall Street saw the company deliver AI-infused vindication. Investors on Thursday appeared to agree before igniting a sell-off that led to a 3% drop for NVIDIA and a 1.6% for the S&P 500. But for now, Wall Street and the rest of the markets will have to agree to disagree because the vibes in analyst commentary and those red numbers simply do not match. They don't know. That's what they're saying. They're scrambling. Similar to newly released jobs numbers that, in at least the hiring dimension, surprised markets, NVIDIA bulls seized on the company's earnings beat and CEO Jensen Huang triumphant commentary as a definitive marker of the direction the AI trade is heading. That is, the one with more money. NVIDIA answered the AI bubble question loud and clear with a drop the mic quarter, said analyst Dan Ives in a note Thursday. It really was not. That should also alarm you. It was good. It was not a drop the mic quarter. That is insane. They didn't even beat the same level they beat last time. And I don't even go into the financial documents that much. I just look at the two numbers. But as you will see, as we'll look at, you go further into the numbers, it does not look great. Again, I have to add the caveat that sometimes that doesn't matter. Sometimes 100 facts of bad news can still make the market go up. While Huang addressing the criticism of AI bubble head-on, perhaps with the appropriate level of confidence after a stellar quarter, it's worth revisiting the bumpy road that led to this moment. As Ives summarized months of drama from the shakeup triggered by DeepSeek and U.S.-China trade worries to tariffs and questions over the sustainability of big tech's massive capex, tech bulls have had to navigate through waves of naysaying. Just the way they phrase that is worrying. I know do better, Yahoo. Just do better. This, as he puts it, was the earnings call that tech bulls needed to hear. Yeah, I'm not convinced. Yeah, okay. NVIDIA's breakout earnings reminded investors where the strength still lies. Yeah, then all boats will be lifted crap. I suspect that many thought the auto industry in 1900 wouldn't be a good investment because there were no gas stations and horses could eat the grass on the side of the road. None back then thought there would be a gas station on virtually every corner nor paved roads because you can't compare the two. People wanted to buy cars. Nobody wants to buy AI. but most every iteration is improvement. Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, nobody doubts the people do doubt the technology, but it's too early yet, and I don't know if they can take it much further. Build all the data centers you want. Okay, this is an interesting comment. For the first time in our lifetime, the government is not only getting out of the way, they are actually helping. They are deregulating, speeding permitting, and have tax cuts so innovators can keep their profits. They should do that for every section, every industry. Without the government's energy policies, this would not be possible. Okay, you should change that to without the public paying for this. Anytime you see government, just replace that with you and me. With that said, the next few years are going to be amazing. As with previous revolutions, there are going to be so many jobs created that no one can imagine. The people who are willing to ride the ups and downs of this will make a lot of money. Choose your companies wisely, enjoy the future. I don't know if they're getting rid of. I bet you they're getting rid of the comments that are overly negative. Because, yeah, I mean, I've said it before, Yahoo's a stooge. There's someone pulling the strings, or a group of people pulling the strings. Choose what articles to go out, and then trade around those articles. It's not new. It's not like this great conspiracy. It's been happening for a long time. You'd be dumb not to. That's another thing with that news from Fed Williams. Usually, when there's a Fed speech, they come out with minutes afterwards, and then cut up what they said and then put a news article out. And it might be an hour or 2 hours, might be the next day sometimes, that the news hits the markets and causes a reaction. This happened at 7:30 on the dot. The second his speech was supposed to start. I don't know if they had it released like that, like he did the speech yesterday and then released the news, but it happened almost immediately. If that's not coordinated, I don't know what is. I mean, it might have came across in the Bloomberg terminal right away. Okay, so he's the New York president. As the labor market softens, but it's not. I would like to really know when that exact time of that speech was. They say Friday. So where is this? Argentina? Chile. So that would be in, I think, California's time zone. Or the Midwest time zone. I don't remember. Okay, it's just such a lie. Employment has not become the mandate. Pumping up this bubble is the mandate. And I don't know where that stress is coming from. I'm sure it's coming from big tech, but big tech is in league with the government now. And like we just heard, the government is behind big tech. The people, against their will, mostly, are having their tax dollars spent on it, are having their energy bills go up insanely to support the infrastructure for this. So the government feels obligated to not let this bubble pop. It's so weird. It's like if you really want real growth, we gotta let this bubble pop. We gotta get rid of the crappy companies, the ones that aren't really innovating, the ones that are just looting the shareholders. And I don't think NVIDIA is one of them. I think there's some crazy stuff going on the back end. But with that, let's go first to FedWatch. Okay, we're back up quite a bit on that one little comment. And I bet you there'll be comments later on where some of the Fed, other members of the Fed will say, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not ready for a cut. Maybe there's, I don't know, unless they all have to get on side now. Or else, they're going to release pictures of them doing weird stuff or whatever. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how the world works. Here we go to the article that caught my attention. And I guarantee you this will soon be on all the major sites. I think I am fully going with that prediction. Rumors of a Fed cut again to bring the price back up. So all the big players, maybe not big tech, but the big players on Wall Street or whatever, government, politicians, so they can get in a good position to sell their shares. Before this really goes mainstream. I think this article has a chance to go mainstream once it's simplified, once it's parsed. But the article reads, I'm not even showing you. The algorithm that detected a $610 billion fraud, how machine intelligence exposed the AI industry's circular financing scheme. It could use a better headline, but I'm going to sum it up right here because it's a very long article. It's very well written. NVIDIA and a lot of the other companies, the big giants like Microsoft, and I don't think Apple's doing it. That's one good company for long-term growth, even though I don't like their products. Who are the other ones doing it? Anyway, NVIDIA, they're the lead on this. They gain equity in, let's say, OpenAI. Then OpenAI buys chips from NVIDIA. And we've talked about the circular economy before. And to put it as simple as possible, it's like if I hired someone and then hired them specifically to buy stuff from my store, eventually that's going to fall apart. You're not going to see real payment in real money. And that's what the algorithms detected. They detected this day sales outstanding that keeps growing. And that's how long until the cash comes in for the stuff you loaned out. And it keeps growing and growing. That, along with inventory issues. They keep saying there's more demand than chips they have, but yet certain chips, they're not making as big a profit on them, and you got to ask why. Also, so another huge point is you can rent GPUs by the hour. And the price, if demand was really, really, really as high as they say, those prices are going down, not up. I mean, that could easily be explained away by other things. But there's just so many signs here in this article. I suggest reading it. Also, the operating cash flow. And then, of course, they bring up the circular financing structure. And then historical precedents. Enron, WorldCom, Lucent. They all did the same basic thing. Special purpose entities to hide debt. NVIDIA's doing it right out in the open. And while we're saying that, let's go to this so-called bull run that was supposed to happen at the news. I know it's too early to say yet, but it's already stalled. Right below, I believe that's the 100 SMA. Yeah. We could see a bounce today. But I would see damn it. But I would see price going to roughly at the most Wednesday's low. We might get up to that point. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it'll go higher than that, I mean. What? Let's take a look at gold. Mostly flat in the overnight, just now making a run for the open. Yesterday's regular trading hours open. I still didn't switch my oil contract. Perhaps that's telling me not to trade oil anymore. 40.60. I still don't understand why gold closes so strangely. The settlement, anyway. You would think you would see a movement to gold in the event of a collapse. But yesterday, we didn't see any rise at all in futures. I really don't have an explanation for that. Besides, people think it's already overvalued, or I don't know. I don't really know. know. Or, I don't know. Well, this contract's over now, so it doesn't really do us any good. I gotta switch oil contracts. Yeah. Yeah, I should really do that soon. The VIX, actually down in the overnight, but yesterday was an insane rise. Only algorithms can do that. But the algorithm goes first, and then everybody else is going to see the evidence soon enough. Hold on to your seats. Part of me still wishes I would have just went flat, because now, you know, I'm kind of nervous. We'll see. The dollar rising slightly in the overnight. Decreased quite a bit at that news. But as you could see before that, we were going up very quickly. But now holding steady, holding quite steady. With RSI showing that it might start heading up again. Yeah, I don't think that little bounce is going to hold. But we'll see. But I have a lot of work to do now. If any day, at any point, anyone comes to watch this, link to the communities in the Discord. Eventually it'll grow. I only want it to grow organically. I'm not doing anything crazy to grow it, because I'm not going to make money off of it. I want to become A1 trader. Alright, that's it. Goodbye, good luck.